Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you tonight to our 2021 year end review, recap, end cap, whatever you want to call it. And we ended talking about the one person that, if football was a person, I feel like it would be this person. We were hit by the announcement shortly before we started recording of the passing of John Madden. I can't even begin to explain to you guys watching the video what he meant to my childhood, my memories of football, and what he means and meant to the game. We will get into it tonight, though. Go ahead, Jay.
Bro, you talk about me being depressed and depressing people and shit.
That was
This is
hella
how
depressing.
we're starting this out.
Hey,
Seriously.
we're celebrating the life of one of the most influential people in the sport of football,
Yeah.
in the history of sports, I would say.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I
And
agree.
that's John Madden. You can't ask anybody in their youth now. The youth these days, you ask them who is John Madden, what are they going to tell you?
They don't know who he is.
They'll
Who?
tell you,
Joe
oh,
Buck.
that's the guy with the football game,
We're talking about Joe Buck.
Madden,
Matt.
everything.
Oh, Madden 2020. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that was a guy. I thought it was just a game.
Yeah.
So
That
what do you guys? Let me start off with this. John Madden passed away at the age of 85. So he lived a phenomenal life,
Blessed life. Mm-hmm.
a very blessed life. Made it to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Was a outstanding player, outstanding coach, outstanding announcer.
Isn't he in 2 Hall of Fames? Or am I
I
tripping?
don't know. I'm not sure if he's in 2 Hall of Fames, but I do know this, that he was still being consulted by people in the NFL, Jerry Jones, Roger Goodell, Bill Belichick. I mean, people were out here like really talking to him behind the scenes. Yeah, he stepped away from the game,
Right.
but he was still so influential. What is what are some of the memories you guys have of John Madden personally? Like what are some of the things when you think John Madden, you're like, that's John Madden to me.
Well, this is going to be kind of sad to say this, but the first thing I think of when I think of John Madden is Pat Summerall, his broadcasting partner.
Right.
And I think now that they're both back together, I'm sure hopefully they'll be broadcasting wherever they're at, wherever they're hanging out at. That that was a team that you can't replace. They try to replace them with Joe Buck and Aikman, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same. Um, just that warmth and just like you knew you were watching the Super Bowl or any big game when you heard John Madden and Pat Summerall commentate. And you know, you miss hearing boom you after a big hit or him breaking down a play, him breaking down what's going on the sidelines. Like, can you imagine if he was commentating uh, this past week's game with the football team? I corrected myself with the football team, and those guys were fighting on the line on the sideline. Can you imagine him breaking down that play by play? Like, I wish it was somebody else other than Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels doing it. Like, I wish it would have been Aikman. Aikman probably would have handled that way different
Right.
than those two. But you know, it is what it is. Like to me, I like you said, he's been consulted, and I mean, to me, you can tell Aikman is trying to emulate Madden when it comes to his broadcasting style.
I mean, that's a guy whose style you can't. It will never be duplicated.
It won't.
I don't think it could be either. Yeah, there's
I
no
mean,
way that you can duplicate that. The charisma that he had, the knowledge that he had behind the game, the way that he just carried the conversation about the game during the game. That's what made him special. And like you said, that's one of my fondest memories too. Is him broadcasting with Pat Summerall, you know, those big games, the Super Bowls, especially our Super Bowls. I think they were still broadcasting both of our Super Bowls, if I'm not mistaken. I think two of them at least. So those are the things that I remember the most. The other thing that I remember also is when he came out in the Little Giants all those many years ago. You know, that right there also is something that stands out in the back of my mind when I think John Madden. And again, like you guys said, you guys kind of hit the nail on the head earlier. If you ask a kid nowadays, who's John? You know, John Madden died yesterday. They'd be like, "Who's that? Isn't that a game that they
right.
made?" They don't really know the person behind that. So unless you really love the sport of football, and if anyone who loves the sport of football knows who John Madden is, that name
Absolutely.
will be forever solidified in the sport of football. It don't matter anytime you bring up football for whatever reason, John Madden will be at the top of that list.
Right.
And and I just think that he will be dearly missed. Our condolences go out to his family, of course, and everything else. But that's one guy that you will never be able to find another one. It's like saying everybody's still waiting for the next Michael Jordan. It's not going to happen. It's never
Right.
going to be duplicated again. So
Hey, apparently, LeBron is the next Michael Jordan. So
yeah,
just
okay.
throwing that out there. I'm not saying that. That's not coming from me. I'm just saying that, that's what that's what the word is on the street. That's
That's a
just
different topic, but
yeah.
it is what it is. Yeah.
I think for me, like you guys said, I always thought of John Madden, like when you see the pictures of him in his more of his heyday, like as a player and coach, that red hair, he just looked like a big bear, but he always had a smile on his face. You know what I mean? Like he never looked down. Him and Pat, bro, they were like family. He said it in the All Madden. He was documentary. He kind of touched on that. Um, and he stated it at Pat's eulogy. He said we were like family. Like we spent 22 Thanksgivings together. You know what I mean? And I speaking of Thanksgiving, I remember, you know, him giving out the six-legged turkeys. And a lot of times the Cowboys were feasting on them things. Emmett, Nate,
Hmm.
Aikman, Irvin, 2 they're all in there with their drumsticks. And when I think Madden, I think of, like you said, Little Giants, the annexation of Puerto Rico,
Hmm.
stuff like that. Madden, I think I always thought how funny it was. He didn't fly anywhere.
Nah.
He had his own bus. And he went game to game, city to city in that bus. And he would stop and he talked to locals. He was a man of the people. He never thought he was better than anybody.
I mean,
Uh,
my guy was 6'4", bro.
he was a beast.
You can imagine what traveling on an airplane is like.
Right,
I'm 6'3", and it's not comfortable to sit
right,
on a flight going some. It doesn't matter where you're going. You can be going to Vegas, whatever. It's uncomfortable
right.
Hmm.
unless you sit on the exit row. That's the only way you can travel, to be honest.
And Colin Cowherd did he did an interview with Rinaldi. I can't remember if it's Tom Rinaldi, I believe it is, or John Rinaldi. Anyway, And he asked him because he got the exclusive access to John Madden, and he asked him, why was John afraid to fly? Like, was it just because he was scared to fly? And he was like, no, he did not like the claustrophobia of it.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big man.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like that discomfort.
Yeah.
And they laugh at him. One of the quotes was, he looked like an unkept bed, like a unmade bed. You know what I'm saying? You see him on the sideline. He always had his press pass and it's flopping around and he's yelling and he wore them 70s clothes looking like just it was crazy to see that dude, and his shirt was untucked. They didn't wear the suits and the team gear like they do now. It wasn't like that back then.
Right.
So, he transitioned into broadcasting, and he's the guy that set the precedent of getting those behind the scenes interviews. You know how you hear Collinsworth, Aikman, Buck, all them guys, Al Michaels, all those guys say, oh, we talked to him earlier in the week, or we talked to him last night at the hotel. He invented that. He was the guy that established those relationships so that people now can do what he was doing back then, getting behind the scenes, getting that interview with the stars. Lawrence Taylor got interviewed for the All Madden documentary, and he says, I don't do anything for the NFL. I don't do any work for the NFL. I don't partake in anything NFL. They told him, hey, it's for Madden's documentary. He gave it to him. That's the respect that this guy had. And it's those guys all the way to the Patrick Mahomes, the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, you know what I'm saying? The Lamar Jacksons, all these young cats that are like, oh man, I get to play myself in a video game. And everybody's talking about, what are my Madden stats? What am I rated? Am I a 99? The 99 club. Everybody wants to be in the 99 club. That's the power he had over football. Roger Goodell and the committee, the guys that are implementing rules, making new rules, they're reaching out to him and they're saying, hey, what do you think about this and that? He said, yeah, I stepped away from it, but I still want to know why they're doing what they're doing. And he has so much stroke and cachet that they're still reaching out to him and saying, hey, let's keep this guy in the loop. Let's pick his brain and see what he thinks. That's impact. That's impact. And I can't remember how many people that they said that they reached out to for an interview. Nobody said no for that All Madden documentary. Nobody said no.
And again, it's not surprising. Like you said, I mean, the guy commands so much respect. You say the name Madden to players that know who John Madden is, nobody's gonna say no. It's like
Right.
that's the guy that you want to get the okay from. If John Madden said that you were a great football player, then guess what? Then you're a
It's
god at that
official,
point.
dog. It's
You're
official.
exactly. You know that quote that Spike said in the Little Giants. I'm praying. Thank you, football guys. That's who he was praying to. Was
Right.
John Madden. He is the football god.
Hey,
So I
and
mean,
you saying that, bro? Peyton Manning said the same thing. He was like, when he
yeah.
put his stamp on me when we played the Cowboys in 1999, and they had Emmett and they had Troy, and we played them and they beat the Cowboys, and Madden says this kid's gonna be special, bro.
That's all it took.
You don't think Madden had an eye for talent? Peyton Manning,
Man,
one of the
bro.
greatest of all time. And then Madden's giving you the stamp saying this guy's the real deal. Bro, you can't ask for nothing better than that.
No.
So yeah, man, that's just some of the memories I have. I remember being 8, 9, 10 years old, like I said, watching the Cowboys and seeing John Madden scribbling all over the screen and just talking this crazy talk, saying all this weird stuff, and sound effects, and it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it all came together, and you're like, oh, he liked to teach. He was a teacher, and he taught us. he taught us so much about football, and he made it simple. He made it to where you could be just some average guy that's never watched it. You'd sit down, you listen to him and Pat. By the end of it, you felt like you knew a lot more than you did when you first sat down.
All of a sudden, you're a professional.
Bro,
Yeah.
the guy was football.
Yeah,
The
he
guy
was.
he was everything that I think about when I think about football. And the fact that he was a big guy, that made it even more special to me because I was like, he's one of us. So, like I said, guys, that was what I wanted to touch on tonight as far as Madden goes. Just because, like I said, the presence will never be here with us again. We'll have his memory. We were fortunate enough to have experienced it when he was still doing it. And like I said, Jay, you said the All Madden documentary was going to rerun on 1/3, right?
Yeah, January 3rd, for anybody that wants to watch it that missed it. It came out on Christmas. I'm sure everybody was hanging out with their family and probably missed it.
Right.
My dad taped it. I didn't get a chance to look at it. I'm going over there hopefully tomorrow to go visit them, so I'll probably watch it with them tomorrow. But yeah, 1/3. And you can stream it on ESPN, I believe, ESPN Plus, and
Hulu,
Peacock,
Amazon,
Amazon. I think those are only 4 places that I saw. I think.
something like that. Yeah. So if you guys get a chance, all you young bucks out there that may not quite know who John Madden is, or all you old heads like us, that John Madden was big time in your heyday, give it a watch, man. The guy was special, and he wasn't just a special football guy. He was just a special guy.
Special
Period.
human being. Period.
Hey, bro, they don't make them like that no more, and they don't come around like that very often. So
Never will.
Nope.
Never
that's
again.
a blessing. And John Madden, wherever you are, we pray for you. We're thinking about you. We're celebrating you, and we got your family in our thoughts tonight.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. So.